Hello everybody, this is Bowie Abiola at Raise Your Game Esports, and today on our segment on women in gaming and esports, we have two awesome guests today, Mikomi and Meowsoe. Say hello to everybody.
Hi guys!
Awesome. So Mikomi is a professional cosplayer and model, and she's also the captain of the PrideStark Overwatch team. And Meowsoe is on that team, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So what got both of you into gaming and esports?
I got into gaming when I was about 4 to 5 years old, and I just never quit playing video games. And that apparently turned into me playing Overwatch like 20 years later.
As for me, it's the same thing. I've been playing games since I was like 4. I started off with World of Warcraft, and I kind of got obsessed with Blizzard games, and kind of from there went over to Overwatch, and I loved it.
Awesome.
I've always loved first-person shooters.
What made you transition from World of Warcraft to Overwatch? I mean, they're in different genres.
Yeah, I started with World of Warcraft, and while I was playing World of Warcraft, my stepbrother used to play a lot of Halo also. And so I would play Halo, and I got really good at the first-person shooter with Halo, and I always wanted to be like professionally with Halo because I was really good with the first-person shooter aspect, but I also had that strategic mindset, which was really good for Overwatch. And when I tried it out, I just was in love the second I played it.
Oh my gosh. How about you, Mikomi? Like, what got you into Overwatch?
Peer pressure.
Can you tell us about it? Like, this is exciting. Can you tell us about it?
A few years ago, I was finishing up my apprenticeship on costume fabrication, and the master craftsman who I was studying under, his younger son, had the Overwatch beta. And I used to play video games with him a lot, like when I'd be done working in the workshop and stuff. So we'd play a lot of games together, and he was like, you need to try out this game and everything. I think you'll really like it. It has a really cool animation style, and you like FPS games. So I tried it out while I was in beta with him for a while, and then I ended up breaking down and purchasing it around Season 3. And I just fell in love with it, and it turned out I was decent at it as well.
Awesome. Who are both of your favorite characters?
Ooh.
Mika, you can go first. Mika, you can go first.
My favorite character to play is probably Widowmaker. However, my best character is probably Lucio or Mercy. Like, I enjoy playing all supports, but I think Widow is my favorite to play.
My favorite character in total is definitely Widowmaker. I am pretty decent at her, and I love playing her. She's probably my second best character other than Mercy at this time.
Well, coming from a person who doesn't play Overwatch that much, I love Genji. Genji looks so cool. I love Genji.
He is the coolest looking character, I'm not gonna lie.
And he's so fast. I keep hearing that it's so hard to hit the guy, right?
Oh yeah, especially when you're a sniper main.
Yeah.
I see. And so what are your favorite video games besides Overwatch?
Oof.
Mine would be World of Warcraft.
Oh, World of Warcraft. oh yeah, you mentioned.
For years. Yep. Oh, it's always going to be my favorite since I was 4.
Are you like level 50,000 in that game?
I have 4 level 100s. I did stop after Legion, so I was never able to get past 110.
Oh.
But yeah, I need to get back into it, but money and stuff. I do love that game though.
What's the most recent one?
Battle of Azeroth, I believe.
Okay, and that came out this year?
Yeah, right after Legion.
Awesome. How about you, Mikomi? What's your favorite game besides Overwatch?
Oh, I have a lot of favorite games. I have favorite game series rather than just like favorite games. I really like the Dragon Age franchise. I also really like Elder Scrolls. Resident Evil, Pokemon. I think I own every single Pokemon game
Oh, me too.
since like Yellow.
Me too. Like legit, me too. I'm dead serious. I have the newest one too, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Oh my god, this is exciting.
Oh yeah. Like everybody thinks that all I do is play FPS games, but I didn't actually start playing FPS games until about like 6 or 7 years ago. So I grew up doing RPGs and fighting games. Like I love the Soul Calibur series and Smash Bros as well.
Oh, guess who's big into Smash? Guess who's also who's like uber big into Smash?
You.
Oh my god. When you said Smash Bros, my eyes just lit up legit. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, so you said you grew up playing fighting games and RPGs?
Mm-hmm.
Like, which ones did you play before?
For fighting games, my favorite was like Soul Calibur 2 and then Smash Melee.
Oh my gosh, I play Melee all day. Literally
It's
all
the
day,
best
every day.
one.
Just play with my... It is the best one.
Like people can fight me on that opinion. Like Smash, like Melee is the best Smash, I think.
Who's your favorite character in Melee?
I really enjoy doing the Zelda Sheik combo for tournaments, and then Pikachu.
Nice. That's a good combo. Yeah, like I played Marth before, then I switched to Fox very recently, and I'm loving
Everybody
Fox.
plays Fox.
Everybody plays Fox,
He's
but
so
then
OP in Melee.
yeah, too OP. Like it gets stale after a while because you see so many foxes. But yeah, but it's fun. Melee is fun. What do you think of the new? What do both of you think of the new Smash Brothers game that's coming out very soon?
For me, I never really play fighter games. I'm more strategic, like strategy above world kind of games. When I was younger, so I wouldn't really know.
Yeah, I'm the fighting game nut job on the Overwatch team.
I see. So
I'm excited for it. I'm hoping that the mechanics are better. I don't like how the most recent Smash games, like Brawl and then Smash 4, have been slower. And I heard that the newer one, the new one that's coming out, is supposed to be quicker, almost like Melee, and that excites me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's in between Smash 4 and Melee, so it's faster than Smash 4, but a little slower than Melee. But it's fantastic. I'm definitely going to be playing Wolf in that game.
Wolf looks really good. I'm excited for King K. Rool.
My god, King K. Rool! Oh, with that belly bump attack that he does, that counters and everything, it's so funny. It's so hilarious. Oh, Meowsoe, you were gonna say something.
Yeah. Normally I don't really necessarily play like the fighter games, but I do play like strategy, and I do play a lot of first-person shooter. But I definitely think that that definitely helps out with the strategic mind and all that.
Which strategy? Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, and if it has to be a fighter game, I do like it would be Mortal Kombat, but because everybody likes Mortal Kombat.
All right. Which strategy games do you play? Like, have you played a lot of Fire Emblem? Because I know Fire Emblem is a big one. Is a big strategy game.
I never really played Fire Emblem, but I did play the original Warcraft. The original Warcraft, not World of Warcraft.
Oh,
the old one.
Was that on Windows 98 or something?
Oh yeah, the old one.
Oh my
the one
gosh.
That you can't even get anymore.
Meowsoe, that's so OG. Like, that is amazing. The OG Warcraft. Like, how was it?
Oh yeah. It was so fun. The one that I played was Warcraft 3 with Arthas, and it was kind of told a story about how like Sylvanas became like abducted by Arthas and her way of like fighting back the Scourge and like rebelling and becoming the leader of the Forsaken. And I'm just a nerd for lore and games.
Quick question. How does the storyline from each individual World of Warcraft game relate? Is it like, are they direct sequels, or are they like in between quels? Like, how would you describe it?
So like each expansion is like that event going on within that year, and then something happens, and then that like something giant traumatic happens, like a giant battle goes on, or like a volcano erupts and the giant dragon Deathwing comes out of the volcano and attacks Stormwind, and it just kind of giant events bring on to the next stage of the expansion, the next expansion. So like Burning Crusade, like the Legion comes out, and then the next one, Wrath of the Lich King, that's when like the Lich King comes out. You know, it's just different traumatic stuff goes on, and it just brings it on to the next expansion.
Okay, so it's chronological, but it's like a different like event in the story.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like major events basically, and like you gotta like help the team, or not help the team, help like the entire world, help Azeroth stay safe as you're fighting the bad guys that came from the giant event.
Who's your favorite bad guy? Who's your favorite bad guy?
That's questionable because in the game there's a Horde and Alliance, and since I play Alliance, my favorite bad guy would be somebody on the Horde side. But if somebody was on the Horde side, they'd say their favorite bad guy would be somebody on the Alliance side. But my favorite bad guy would definitely be Sylvanas Windrunner. I love her so much. She's super sassy, and it just makes me happy. The only thing I don't like about her is her recent attack on the Night Elf like area.
So, like, what are her powers? Like, what are her powers?
She has a bow.
Oh, she has a bow. Oh, okay. Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
She has a bow.
Nice.
Yeah, she works with her bow, and she's the leader of the Forsaken, like I said. She was a war chiefess at the time, and the only reason why I like her is because there's this one scene where she raises the dead, and one of the guys was all like, you're raising the dead. What makes you any different from the Lich King now? And Sylvanas just looks at him sassily and goes, "'Cause I serve the Horde."
Oh.
And it just yeah, I love her.
Oh, and I bet that was super exciting for you, right?
Yeah, I love that game so much.
Oh my gosh. How many hours would you say you've logged in the game?
Too many.
Okay, too many to count?
Too many to count.
Oh, Mikomi, I have a question for you. Are you ready for this?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you're the captain of the Overwatch team for PrideStarkGaming, right?
Yes.
So what's it like to be in a leadership position? And what do you like being a leader in that position? Can you explain like what it's like and what advice you would give to people who aspire to be leaders?
I think the best way to lead a team is to lead through like having a helpful mindset. I mainly lead in the sense that if the individual players on my team are doing well, then I am going to do well by default. I try to do my best to encourage people to keep improving themselves. I try to make being on the team as easy as I can for everybody because I know that it takes up a lot of time and whatnot. And so I try to make everything as easy as I can for my team.
I see. Were you always a natural leader? Like throughout your life, were you always a natural born leader?
I don't necessarily think so. It's something that I started doing more of in high school. I was a captain of a few sports teams in high school, and then I did some leadership stuff in college as well. But I was never necessarily the go-to leader, if that makes sense. It's kind of like in every aspect of your life you need to grow, and leadership skills are one of those things where like you need to grow with them and like study on how to lead and whatnot. It's not necessarily as inherent of a skill as some people think it is.
Oh, okay. And from what I can see is that it's not very easy to lead, right? Is it usually is it more than it seems?
It is a lot more than it seems. A lot more than it seems. I decided to do the Overwatch team on a whim about a year ago because I just got invited to it. I got invited to tournaments just randomly, and one of my oldest sponsor, Reacted Designs, I was like, should I enter? Like, I didn't really plan on doing Overwatch for tournaments or anything. I just wanted to do it for fun. And they were like, yeah, sure, we'll sponsor you and a whole team. Just like, get a team together. And I'm like, oh, okay, guess I gotta find a team. And it just kind of happened. And then I found out exactly how much time it took through just happenstance and whatnot. Scheduling is probably the biggest time consumer that I have on like a weekly basis, because you're scheduling with like all 6 to 12 people on your team, and then you have to be able to work your schedule around the other team that you're playing for your weekly tournament match as well, and then they have like 6 to 12 other people. And then if you want it broadcasted by the tournament, you have to schedule with the tournament organizers and their broadcasters. And it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time. Wow. So
Yeah.
what was your favorite tournaments to go to? Like what so can you so have you ran your own tournaments before, by the way?
No. I have not had experience in organizing tournaments before.
Oh, okay. But what's your favorite tournament you went to though?
Probably the tournament that I'm in right now. They do tournaments every competitive season. It's the Overwatch Xbox League, or Overwatch Xbox Competitive League. It's kind of more of a casual tournament in comparison to like the Overguard or the ICTP, but the moderators do a fantastic job at organizing it. They put forth a lot of effort, and they're more involved in their tournament than some of the other tournaments I've participated in. And their commentators are by far the best commentators I've had.
Awesome. And Meowsoe, is that your favorite tournament too? What's your favorite tournament?
I kind of agree with Miko on this one. I not really know much about it, but the one that we're in right now is the one that sticks by me the most, and it's definitely the one that I love listening to commentators. I love watching it, like going back and watching how it went out. Even if we lost it for some reason, like I still love going back and watching it because I can learn more about it, see new tricks, and just kind of watch and have fun.
Awesome. And what I love about tournaments is the thrill and just the excitement and just the sense of community with any tournament. I typically go to a lot of Smash tournaments, but I understand from the same point of view as Overwatch, because it's like a sense of community, and that's what I like about it.
Oh yeah, especially if you've been in the tournament circuit for a really long time. Like you get to become friends with other like team captains or like team members and stuff. And it's pretty cool. Like I've met a lot of different teams that we scrimmage and stuff for practice. Like we've gotten to the point where we don't even do like competitive practice anymore. All we do is scrim other teams for practice.
I see. And also, like, so I take it you play Overwatch on the Xbox, is it?
Yes, my team is currently Xbox based. However, a few of our sponsors are facilitating us to be doing a slow transition over to PC over the course of the next couple of years.
Okay, and how do you feel the transition will be? Do you feel it will be a smooth transition, or would it be a rough transition?
I think for certain players it's going to be easier than others. Some players on my team are currently really concerned about switching over because they've reached the apex of skill that you can have on console, and they're concerned about learning a completely new mechanical skill set, because PC, even though it is a lot easier to pick up than console as far as aiming is concerned, it is a pretty different game. You have different glitches and stuff that you can take advantage of, and then aiming is very different, and movement is weird. I've been switching over for about a month now, and like I'm doing okay, but I'm very glad that we have over a year to make the transition before we start doing tournaments.
I know that there are Xbox PC controllers. I in fact have one with me right now. Can't you just use an Xbox controller for PC?
We could. A few of the GMs on my team were making a joke like we're just going to use our Xbox controllers and go to the Overwatch League. But realistically, that's not a thing that can happen, just because it is so much harder and slower aiming with a controller, that once you get into the higher elos on PC, you wouldn't be able to keep up.
I see. So the aiming is just not as fast, right?
Yeah. Even if you lower aim smoothing on a controller, aim smoothing on console is basically what slows it down so it can be played with the joystick. Some people lower aim smoothing on console when they have really good reflexes. I know both Meowsoe and I keep our aim smoothing lower just because it's easier for us and we have the reflexes to compensate for the jittery aim
I see.
that it causes.
Oh.
But, like, it would still be very difficult to keep up with the smoothness that a mouse gives you.
Okay. So it's easier with the mouse. Like, even though it's like click, like I can't imagine it being easier with the mouse, but it actually is.
Oh my goodness, it is so much easier. I've been on Twitter a lot, like, because I've been documenting my console masters player switches to PC, just because I think it's funny. And PC is easy mode.
Oh.
Like, aiming wise, like, I'm kind of disturbed how bad some PC snipers are when it's literally 10 times easier to aim.
I see. And there's crossplay between PC and console, right? For Overwatch?
What do you mean by crossplay?
So, like, let's say you have a let's say you have an Xbox. You can play with a friend who has a PC. Oh, no?
No, there's no crossplay. If you have an Xbox, you can only play with Xbox players. Same thing with PS4 and PC.
I wish there was crossplay. Darn it.
Oh my goodness. Crossplay would be so unfair. Like, well, at the lower elos, not necessarily. But, like, once you hit, like, Diamond and higher, maybe even Masters or higher, because I didn't have too many issues playing against Diamonds on PC yet. But, like, when you get up to Masters and stuff, then you'd really see the difference in aiming.
I see.
And whatnot. Yeah.
I see. And you mentioned scrimmages. And what are the scrimmages like, and how often do you scrimmage for, and who do you scrimmage against?
Our most consistent scrim partner lately has been Kinetics Esports. Their captain is Dazzle, and he's awesome. Our scrimmages, because Dazzle's team and my team were all in the same tournaments and in the same tournament brackets. So what we do is we'll have like one scrim a week for about like 2 hours, sometimes more if our teams have time. And we'll just practice and play each other with tournament rules on the maps that are the map pools for that tournament match week.
I see. Awesome.
We've scrimmed other teams in the past. We've scrimmed teams from the UK. We've scrimmed teams from Mexico, from France. Most of the time, we just use tournament rules.
Have you noticed a difference in play style between the regions? Like, is one region more offensive than another region that you've scrimmaged against?
Not necessarily. I mean, everybody's playing the same game. The only difference that I would say is noticeable is certain regions have fewer high-skill players because the different continents have fewer numbers of people who play the game. So, for instance, so like last season, we were in low diamond or something, and we got paired against the number 6 top 500 from like Asia or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And we were like, hey, look, it's a 6. And you're like, wait, a what? I'm like, it's a number 6. And you're like, what? I'm like,
wow.
Look at the thing.
So they were really good.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. They weren't good at all.
Like, they
were good for their region, but not throughout the entire world.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. And you guys completely just train wrecked or steamrolled their entire team.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably. I don't really remember, honestly, because the only thing I remember is, wow, we're playing against a number 6. I should take a screen cap of this.
Well, I've gone against the number 10 with Shadow a few seasons back when I was in Low Diamond again.
Oh yeah, I think you told me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like in
see.
America, in the beginning of the season, when you hit like high diamond, low masters, you'll start getting top 500, like the bottom half of top 500. So the people that are like in GM, or when the season is starting, it's whoever can play 50 games first, who has like the
Oh,
highest SR. So I've played against like some pretty low top 500s, like masters and stuff.
I see. I see. And those 50 tournaments are like, or those 50 matches are like qualifiers, I assume?
Not exactly. It's just you have to play a certain number of matches. Blizzard put it in a couple seasons ago. I don't remember which season, but they put it in so people who have multiple like top 500 Smurfs, like they wouldn't be able to have like 10 top 500 spots. That would just be all one player, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense 100%. All right.
Yeah.
So Meowsoe, what are your thoughts on everything, the scrimmaging, the tournaments? I know you've been quiet the entire time. So
I'm just shy.
okay, I just want to know your thoughts on it.
Well, I love it. I love being able to play competitively. I'm a very competitive person, but I also like being able to be the one to like when people start to get toxic, I like to be the one to like cool everybody down and just try to be positive. I love being able to play my main, which is actually Mercy. It's just so fun. You just go around and just help people out and like win games and have teamwork and just have fun. It's not really like I mean, obviously I'm trying in the tournaments, but it's not like I hate it because I'm trying too hard. No, I'm just having fun and I'm doing my best and I love it.
Yes, it's all about having fun. It is all about that. I love that positive mindset. I love it. And so both of you cosplay, right?
I do not. Miko
Okay.
wants me to, but I do not. Miko does though.
All
Yeah.
right. So
I cosplay a bit.
so Mikomi, so what got you? Can you tell us your cosplay story? Like what got you into cosplaying and how you started from your humble beginnings to where you're at right now? Like can you tell us about your journey?
Sure. I started cosplaying in my junior year of college. I grew up actually a county away from Baltimore, so Otakon was in my back door, so like my backyard and everything. So was MagFest and KatsuCon, some of the bigger conventions on the East Coast. And my next door neighbor, like we grew up together, and she was huge into anime, and we decided to go to Otakon, which at the time was the biggest anime convention on the East Coast. It was basically the East Coast version of Anime Expo. And so we didn't think that we'd go to another convention again. It was kind of just a bucket list thing for us. So we decided to cosplay to it to get the full experience. And we each bought our cosplays off of eBay. They were low quality for what we paid for. And we went to Otakon and we had a great time. And then I was on the figure skating team at my college, and one of the other skaters on the team was also into anime and video games and whatnot, and she decided to talk to me about trying out for a maid cafe that another convention had, because if you made it in the maid cafe, you'd be able to get a free pass to a convention and whatnot, so you could basically go to one of these really expensive things for free. And so we sent in our applications, we both got accepted. Ended up being pretty popular as far as the fan base is concerned, so the convention started sending us to other conventions to do promotions and marketing for the maid cafe and for the convention, and then I just kept going to all these cons for free, and I decided to keep cosplaying while doing it. Then I had a kid, and I had to deal with some pretty bad postpartum depression, and I kind of got back into cosplay to kind of help me cope. with the changes in my life that were happening, like motherhood, being a wife, and all this other stuff. Like, it was a lot of big changes at once. And then I met a master craftsman, and he decided to take me on as his apprentice for leatherwork and woodworking. And I ended up founding a pretty decent sized costume fabrication company with him. And I then started getting invited to be on television shows about cosplay, guesting at conventions, judging costume contests, and entering and winning. And it just kept growing.
Awesome.
All random happenstance. All of it was completely random. Right place, right time, and a lot of hard work.
I'm glad I'm so happy for you, and I want your success to continue. Congratulations. I'm very happy. Congrats.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so what's your favorite cosplay? Like, so you've cosplayed as many different characters, right?
Oh yeah. Dozen.
Which one is your favorite?
Oof. I'm actually in my office right now with all my costumes hanging up.
Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting.
I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know. I'd probably say my favorite to cosplay is either my Nightingale armor from Elder Scrolls Skyrim or my Genderbend Thor from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Nice. And out of all the conventions you've been to, which one is your favorite?
MagFest.
MagFest? Why do you like MagFest the most?
24-hour retro gaming.
Oh my god,
well
retro gaming.
Arcade.
So Meowsoe, you love retro gaming as well too, right?
I mean, I'm alright with it. I mean, I kind of just go along with going and gaming. I'm not really into like all the events and everything. I just kind of game for fun.
Alright.
You know, I like the tournaments. I love the tournaments. I love, you know, doing all that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to events and all that, I'm very antisocial around a lot of people. So I kind of just enjoy just coming home and playing games like Skyrim or World of Warcraft or Overwatch or Life is Strange, whatever, just having fun.
Awesome. And so Mikomi, like, which retro game do you like the best?
Oof. Galaga.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with Galaga?
Yeah, I grew up with Galaga and Gradius, and then Pac-Man. One of my friends growing up, her mom loved video games, and she actually had a Pac-Man arcade system in their house. So I'd go over and play the original Pac-Man.
Okay. And it was, so you played Pac-Man, and did you also play Miss Pac-Man as well too?
I did not play Miss Pac-Man. I never got a chance to. I was born in the 90s, so by the time I was old enough to start playing games and stuff, arcades were fading out. If that makes sense. So I didn't really get a chance to ever go to a real arcade or anything like that. So I just had to play whatever my friends' parents had or whatever I would play at MagFest or on my friend's original NES.
I see. All right. And so if you were to give any advice to anybody starting out in cosplay, what advice would you give?
Do it for fun, not for followers.
All right.
A big thing about cosplay nowadays, like I've been cosplaying for about 8 years now, so I've been around before it became really popular and mainstream, and a lot of people nowadays think of it as more of a popularity contest than it's supposed to be. Like, I'm kind of a Puritan in that aspect. Like, I do it for fun, and I just happen to be able to monetize what I do for fun. Like, we're all nerds dressing up in costumes at the end of the day, so I think that if people take it a little bit less seriously and just, like I said, do it for fun, I think that you'll have the most gratification out of it.
Now that's awesome. That's fantastic advice. I love it. I love it. And have you made a lot of Meowsoe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, have both of you made a lot of friends at tournaments? Like, can you talk about the friendships that you've made along the Overwatch journey and the esports journey in gaming?
Oh my god, I love everybody.
Like,
Literally, I just love everybody.
can you tell me about some of the amazing friendships? Like, have you what friends who has become your friend? Like, what friendships have you nurtured over the years?
I mean, throughout the tournament, I know our team, just specifically our team. I have already met a lot of them before they joined. Like Shadow Bear, I've known him for 8 years before the tournament and all that. Like I've known him for a really long time, and he joined with me. Same with Killer Cells, but there's also a lot of people I had recently made friends with who had recently joined, like Bryson or Relic or Savior, and they're really cool, and I love hanging out and just not just being a team, but also just being a friend group and just hanging out and having fun.
How about you, Mikomi?
Same. I've made a lot of friends with the people on the team. I've had a lot of the team members have switched up over the past year just because of life things, availability, stuff like that. And I've been able to stay friends with almost everybody who's been on the Overwatch team since I founded it last year. I've also made friends with a few people on other teams and whatnot, and a few tournament organizers, and it's been nice. It's cool being able to have a group of people that you can hop on and play video games with, and you know that they're not going to be toxic or sexist.
And it's the sense of community and friendship that matters most.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the same thing for the cosplaying, like any cosplay conventions. Can you tell us about any friendships you made right there?
Oh yeah, I've made so many friends from cosplay. Date Masamune is one of my best cosplay friends. I really enjoy hanging out with Introventus, Terumi Hana, and then Jez Roth, Gina. She goes by, I think, Unicorn Astronaut, I think.
Nice. Unicorn Astronaut. That's pretty cool.
Unicorn Astronaut, yeah. It's a pretty awesome handle, I think. But I've met a lot of people, and it's been really cool. There are a lot of really good people in the geek communities, and I think that both tournaments and then cosplay has opened up a lot of friendships for me.
Nice. And so where do you guys plan on traveling within the next within the near future and the far future? Like, what are your plans for the future in regards to both cosplay and esports?
As far as esports are concerned, I plan on just doing what I'm doing. It seems to be working. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants, doing a lot of trial and error. Because back when I did do tournaments more regularly, I did fighting game tournaments, so I've never really been in charge of a team before, so it's been a really big learning process for me. But I see us continuing to do console tournaments and weekly practices and scrims and stuff. I see us, once 2019 hits, starting the slow transition over to PC as a team. For the next year, I just want to see everybody switch over to PC and us learn how to do PC gaming as a team together. And then maybe in the next 2 years or 3 years, potentially forming a contenders team or an open team for the Overwatch League, something like that.
Awesome.
As far as like physical traveling is concerned, the most traveling I do currently is with cosplay. I basically go wherever I get paid to go. So I'm frequenting New York City a lot for BoroCon. I've been helping that convention since it started last year and whatnot. I've been heading up their cosplay contest and like organizing that, getting prizes, finding sponsors, finding judges, stuff like that. I do a lot with the nostalgia convention group, so the people that run IchimonCon, Triad Anime Convention in North Carolina, KansaiCon I'll be at in a few weeks. That's going to be in Danville, Virginia. And then they also do ColossalCon and ColossalCon East up in Ohio, and then Pennsylvania, respectively. I do a lot with that convention group. I really enjoy working with them. And then wherever PrideStark and PrideStark sponsors want me to show up.
I see.
I show up.
All right. How about you, Meowsoe?
The same way with Miko. Obviously I don't cosplay, so I'm not the same way that way. But when it comes to esports, it's the same way. I don't really plan on going anywhere. There's not really anywhere for me to go. I'm just gonna stay and do what I need to do, and hopefully, if Miko ever needs anything, I'm here to help. But I do, and sooner or later, I hope to go to BlizzCon. Like, that is a dream of mine because, as you know, I love Blizzard games. I love World of Warcraft, Diablo, Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, Overwatch. I would love to go to BlizzCon or something of that sort. It would just be so fun for me.
I hope you get to live that dream. Like, I'll be cheering for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Mikomi, which fighting game tournaments have you been to?
Mainly just stuff from different conventions. I did MagFest tournament a few times, Anime USA's. I mainly just did it for fun. I do well with stuff, but it was mainly just a for fun thing that I did with my boyfriend who became my husband.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
And what games did you participate in? I'm just curious. Right now I'm just curious.
Mainly just Smash Melee.
Nice.
Because my other best fighting game was Soul Calibur, and as you know, there are like no Soul Calibur tournaments, so
yeah,
I was limited to Melee for the most part.
Like Soul Calibur, what is up with that? Because I don't hear anything about Soul Calibur tournaments that much anymore.
I mean, I've never heard anything about Soul Calibur tournaments. It really sucked because I was really good at Soul Calibur too. Like Ivy and Talum were my two best characters, and I'm really sad that I never got to play in a tournament with them.
I see. Yeah, that's sad. That is sad. Oh, I wish you could play in a tournament with them. I wish they still had it. Maybe, who knows? Maybe you can run like just for fun like tournament for Soul Calibur.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Some people about.
Pardon?
I have a feeling I'd get steamrolled though, because I haven't played that game in a literal decade.
But remember, it's only for fun, so it's not like oh, like the stakes are high, right? So
that's true. I'd be okay with getting steamrolled.
As long as you have fun while doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's exciting. And Meowsoe, you said you loved Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah, I mean, I play it every once in a while. Like I said, I'm not much of a fighter game, but if I had to pick one, it'd definitely be Mortal Kombat.
All right. May I ask why Mortal Kombat?
Because, well, it's one of the only ones I've ever really played. Besides Fighter, something Fighter. I used to play that one a lot when I was younger, but Mortal Kombat was the one that I always stuck to. I think it's because I like the fantasy kind of aspect to it. I've always loved fantasy, like fictional stuff, and I think that's what got me into it.
Fantasy fiction.
Yeah, I have an obsession with lore and learning about the fantasy stuff and like Lord of the Rings, kind of, like the elves and the dwarves, but I also like monsters and just anything that's not real.
Oh yes. Because that way you can use your imagination and like you can completely expand your horizons mentally. That's awesome.
But yeah, I've always obsessed over like anything that I get to like bring my mind to. So like books or like things that normal teenagers shouldn't like.
I love the enthusiasm. It's pretty cool. All right. And so do you have any additional comments to anybody in the esports community or like anybody in the cosplay community? Any additional comments whatsoever?
I'd say something.
Yes.
If you're a girl playing like video games online, don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't play just because you're a girl. Don't ever let anybody let you change who you play or what you play because of who you are. Just follow your heart.
Okay.
It's true. There are a lot of fantastic female gamers that get put down on the sole fact of their gender. It's been really rough for me to figure out how to approach that over the past year, just because, like, both Kat and I, she got back into DPS more than I have recently, but I used to be a really good DPS player, and I stopped playing DPS because people would give me crap about being a female on DPS and why wouldn't I get on Mercy and all this other stuff. And I just decided to quit dealing with the toxicity. So I was like, fine, I'll play support. I don't really care about my ranking or anything. And it's kind of shot me in the foot a little bit because I can't flex as well as I used to because I don't play those roles anymore. I used to be one of the better Widowmakers and Sombras on the leaderboards and stuff, and now I am not anymore because I don't get to play those characters.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. So you've had challenges and hurdles you had to overcome in the esports side of things, right?
Yeah, I've had a few. I haven't had it nearly as bad as a lot of other women in gaming have had it, but I've definitely had to like earn people's respect when I shouldn't have had to earn it in the first place. It should have just been given on the fact that I am a team captain. I've had to prove myself exclusively for being a female, which I think is misogynist.
I agree. Like, everybody should have an equal opportunity in esports and gaming. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. I know Kat has dealt with a lot of it as well. I think she deals with more of it than I do, honestly, because of the fact that she has the balls to play Widowmaker a lot more than I do nowadays.
Kat,
yeah, people hate Widowmaker on console for some weird reason.
Kat, can you tell us about those challenges, like the challenges you had to overcome and how you overcame them?
I mean, like, most of the time I just kind of do it anyways. If somebody tells me don't do this because you're a girl or don't do this because that character sucks in general without even giving me a chance, I'm going to do it anyways. If somebody says don't do this because we don't need that right now and like we don't need that at this moment, we need something for this team comp, we need something to counter their team comp or they're countering you, I'll switch. There's a difference. Big difference.
I see. And Mikomi, have you had any challenges or hurdles in the cosplay side of things?
Not really. I kind of keep to myself as far as cosplay is concerned. Occasionally I'll have trolls. My fans normally slay the trolls before I am even made aware of the trolls existing. So I don't really deal with much. The most that I've had to deal with, I've had to deal with people trying to discredit me because I do not have a large internet presence. When cosplay was becoming big on social media, I kind of steered away from that because I was a new mom and I was dealing with a lot of my own personal issues. Like I mentioned before, I had a really bad postpartum depression. I also had a lot of complications with my health outside of mental health because of it. And I was focusing more so on myself, my son, my husband during it, so I didn't put forth as much effort as I should have into growing an online presence, but it was a decision I made, and I'm obviously fine with that decision. But people have tried to discredit my skill because I don't have the internet following, or people have tried to discredit me because I don't do a lot of fan service things. I do what I want in cosplay, and if they enjoy the content I create, then they're there. I'm not going to change the content I make for new potential fans or potential income. Like, I'd rather keep it where I enjoy it.
I agree. I understand. And you want to do what's best for you, not what's best for another person.
Exactly. Like, I deal with a screaming almost 5-year-old every day. I don't need to deal with people who think that they have a say in my life as well.
I see. And have you had any hurdles when it comes to making the costumes? Like, did it take a while, or were there any challenges when you were making your own costumes for cosplay?
Oh, definitely. I actually deal with problems making my own cosplays now more than I did a few years ago when I was working on my apprenticeship. I learned how to do a bunch of really cool things craftsmanship wise. Like, I know how to tool leather and tan hides and make full suits of leather armor. I know how to use like power tools and make swords out of solid wood and guns and bows and arrows and stuff. But unfortunately, I only know how to do a lot of that stuff at an actual costume shop / workshop. My mentor moved his shop across the country to be closer to his family. So when I lost access to my shop, I lost access to being able to create a lot of the type of costumes that I was known for making. I also have to deal sometimes with health issues with making my costumes. I have arthritis in my wrists.
Oh, I see.
Tooling leather is kind of like engraving, and it can get really hard on your hands after a while. So sometimes, like, I have to quit working on a piece that I was working on just because my hands hurt too much.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry that your hands hurt like that.
It's life. I can still create art. It just takes me a little bit longer sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And how have you overcome some of these hurdles?
I tend to care less about deadlines for costumes. That sounds really lazy. But if I set a deadline for myself, and if like my arthritis is flaring up, because like let's say we had Florence come through, and so we had like multiple weeks of rain, and that like makes your joints hurt and stuff. So like I'm not making a certain deadline because like it hurt my hands too much to do leather work for a few weeks. So,
I understand.
Like, I have dozens of other costumes that I can wear to conventions. Like, there's always going to be another convention. And I can always reschedule photo shoots.
Okay.
Awesome. So I put my personal health before I put my content, if that makes sense. And that's been not just good for my physical health, but it's also been good for my mental health. It's taken away a lot of the stress that doing cosplay for a job can create.
I understand. I understand completely. Put yourself first. Health comes first.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it sounds really selfish saying it like that. I feel like.
No, I mean, it's
but
not
it's
selfish.
Kind of like what it has to be like.
It's not selfish at all. It's not, because the thing is, if you don't put health first, you won't be able to like do anything. You won't be able to do anything, and that's it's absolutely not selfish.
I'm glad you have that mindset. A lot of people don't.
Oh, really? A lot of people don't?
Oh yeah, I've had fans message me when I've been in like when I've been dark on the internet for a while. they'll be like, why haven't you made anything recently? And I'll be like, without going into too much detail, I'll be like, I've been going through a lot of stuff. I haven't really had the time or the funds to make new stuff, so I just haven't. And people get like kind of upset at me for not creating new work. And like cosplay is like an art form. Like you can't just like force a person to create art for your own enjoyment unless you're paying them, as far as I'm concerned. And like there's a lot of entitlement surrounding cosplay currently. So I've had to deal with a bit of that.
Okay. And so far you've been able to manage or overcome these expectations that people have, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been handling it fine. I think that the number of conventions I get asked to guest at speaks for itself, as well as the sponsors I've been able to maintain through all of this.
All right. I'm glad you're doing what you love and that you're putting your health first. I'm very glad. I'm very glad.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on our show, Mikomi and Meowsoe. I appreciate it so much. We appreciate you guys. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for having us.
I appreciate being here. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate being here.
Awesome. I'm so glad. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and have a wonderful day. This is Bowie Abiola at Raise Your Game Esports, signing out.